What if money didn't come from a government, a bank, or even a country, but instead from math, code, and a promise that no one is in charge? In 2009, while the world was still reeling from the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, something quietly appeared on the internet. There was no company launch, no press conference, and no identifiable creator, just a 9-page document published under the mysterious name Satoshi Nakamoto. Most people ignored it, a few dismissed it as nonsense, and almost no one imagined it would one day challenge the foundations of global finance. Bitcoin didn't arrive as a solution looking for a problem. It was a reaction to a system that many believed had already failed. To understand why Bitcoin mattered at all, you have to go back to 2008. Major banks collapsed after years of reckless risk-taking. Governments stepped in with massive bailouts, and ordinary people paid the cost through unemployment, lost savings, and shrinking trust. Money, which was supposed to be stable and reliable, suddenly felt fragile. Bitcoin emerged directly from that moment of distrust. Its core idea was radical, a peer-to-peer digital currency that didn't rely on banks, governments, or intermediaries. Instead, transactions would be recorded on a public ledger, the blockchain, and verified by a decentralized network. Scarcity was built in from the start, with a hard limit of 21 million coins, a direct response to money printing and inflation. Early on, Bitcoin was almost meaningless in price. People mined it on home computers, traded it for fun, and famously spent 10,000 Bitcoins on 2 pizzas, unaware that this experiment would one day be worth billions. As more people discovered Bitcoin, belief began to drive value. Exchanges appeared, media coverage increased, and prices started rising. This created a feedback loop. Rising prices attracted attention, attention attracted speculation, and speculation pushed prices even higher. Then came the crashes. Over and over again, Bitcoin followed the same cycle: curiosity, hype, fear of missing out, and collapse. Each time, headlines declared Bitcoin dead, and each time it survived. The cause and effect pattern became clear. Every crash exposed weaknesses such as poor infrastructure, hacks, and scams, but each failure also forced improvements. Developers strengthened the network, users learned hard lessons, and Bitcoin's identity slowly shifted from internet curiosity to digital gold, an asset defined less by everyday spending and more by resistance to control. The real breaking points didn't come from the code itself, but from human behavior. Exchanges collapsed overnight, billions of dollars vanished through fraud, and governments threatened bans. Critics attacked Bitcoin's energy use, volatility, and slow transaction speeds, arguing it could never function as real money. Prices crashed again, wiping out fortunes and enthusiasm. Yet Bitcoin didn't react. There was no central authority to intervene, no bailout to restore confidence. Blocks continued to be produced every 10 minutes, indifferent to panic. That indifference became one of Bitcoin's most unsettling features. It simply kept going. The fallout created stark contrasts. Early adopters became extraordinarily wealthy, while latecomers often lost everything. Entire industries formed around mining, custody, and speculation. At the same time, Bitcoin found real-world use in countries suffering from inflation, capital controls, or unstable governments, where it functioned not as an investment, but as an escape valve. This mirrored a recurring historical pattern. Whenever trust in institutions erodes, people search for alternatives. Gold once filled that role. Offshore banking did later. Bitcoin became the digital version of the same instinct. Many tried to fix Bitcoin's flaws by creating faster, cheaper, or more flexible alternatives. Some succeeded technologically but failed socially. Bitcoin's strength wasn't efficiency. It was credibility earned through survival. Attempts to change it too much risked undermining the trust that made it valuable in the first place. Governments responded with their own digital currencies, promising speed and stability, but these systems kept control centralized, reintroducing the very problem Bitcoin was designed to avoid. Today, the same questions repeat. Is Bitcoin a currency, a commodity, or a bubble? Is it freedom or speculation? The most shocking part isn't Bitcoin's volatility, it's its persistence. Empires fall, currencies collapse, and systems are replaced, yet Bitcoin remains. The key lessons are simple but unsettling. Bitcoin is ultimately about trust. Every crash strengthens what survives it, and money itself is a social agreement. If Bitcoin isn't the future of money, it may be a warning that the old system is under strain. And if it is the future, then we are still standing at the very beginning.